Hi everyone, Katarina here. Thank you so much for watching my video today. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a card I made a couple of weeks ago. I only came around to editing the video done. So I received this magazine, the Simple Cards and Paper Craft magazine, issue 254, which came with this gorgeous stamp set. There are 17 stunning stamps, and they are inspired by the country of diary of an Edwardian lady. And we also have an embossing folder and some papers. The papers and toppers you can also download digitally. Now the card that I'm making today, I actually made a few weeks ago for a project that I cannot share yet, but I wanted to recreate it because to me it really screams like spring, Mother's Day, Easter kind of theme. And by the time I will be able to share my original piece, all that will be over. So I'm going to do this because I really loved it. So first of all, I'm going to stamp some of these lovely flowers, butterflies, and the dragonfly in there. And to do that, I'm using my stamping platform from Craft Stash, the Creative Craft Products one. I'm using watercolor cardstock, again from Craft Stash, and I'm using my Versamark ink pad just to stamp these down. Now you'll say it leaves a little bit of a black mark because I used black ink on these ones before for a different project. But it doesn't matter because I will be using opaque polished gold embossing powder today, and this will cover all them dark lines up. It looks like a mess now, I promise you. It will not show once we are finished with heat embossing. So here I'm sprinkling the polished gold over the image. I don't have that much left in this spider. I actually ordered a new, but it's in the post for me, so I can't wait. I've used this so much. I very rarely have to reorder embossing powders, but this one definitely is a gorgeous one of my favorites lately. So I'm just heat setting them with my heat tool, and I'm using setting number 2 for this, and it goes quite fast. You can see how lovely it changes over to shiny, and once all the dullness is gone, it indicates us that the heat embossing is ready. Off camera I did another set of stampings. I have 2 of each, just gives me a variety of which ones to use. But I forgot to press record again for coloring that image in, so I'm going to show it to you in here now. So I'm using my aqua markers by Spectrum Noir, which one is really kind of growing to be my favorite these days. I go through stages. Sometimes it's alcohol markers. Right now I really am enjoying this watercoloring. The color I'm using for these flowers are the aquamarine. Just how gorgeous is it? And I'm going to add some different shades of blues and greens, as you can see on the side in there. But for the other flowers that I won't be showing here on camera, that would be just too boring to watch everything being colored in. I'm going to be using yellow, orange, some pink and purple. And I'm going to add some blues to the butterflies and the dragonfly in there. And I think these turn out just beautiful. The color looks quite strong in there, and it dries back a bit more faint. So you can always come back and add an extra layer of colors or dotting here and there. And here they are all done and fussy cut. This took me a while. I done that off camera again. I just want to show you some of these. The watercolor runs outside the line, so there's like an orangey patch in there. I don't know if you can really pick it up. It doesn't show much. I just want to show you how you can tidy up that if that bothers you and that happens to you. So I have this Jelly Roll white pen, and I'm just going over it. And that covers up the colors because they are very faint colors in there, like barely was seen anyway. Normally wouldn't bother me at all. I just wanted to show you what way I cover up my little mistakes with the watercoloring, because it does happen that the watercolor just escapes a bit outside those lines. So that was the sentiment. Happy birthday again from the stamp set that I heat embossed with the gold embossing powder. For my card base, I'm creating a bookbinding fold card, 10 by 7 inches, cordine at 5 inches in the middle, creating just a basic 5 by 7 inch card base. And from that middle score line, which is going to be my front of the card, I scored down at 1/2 inch. So measure the 1/2 inch from that middle score line, score down, and I'm going to add some glue just behind it. I'm going to stick it down. If you want to add some ribbon over this spine and you want to tuck it in inside, do that now before you glue it down. I'm not doing that today. I am adding just my color glue, and then I'm going to set this aside to dry to make sure it dries nice and sturdy. I love making big binding fold cards. I made them before on my channel, and I think they are just always lovely. It doesn't matter what size I'm making, and they always turned out nice. Now I'm taking a piece of gold mirror cardstock which measures 4 1/4 by 6 3/4, and that pattern paper from the magazine which measures 4 inches by 6 1/2. Now I'm going to cut some ovals into this, and I'm using the oval nesting dies from Creative Craft Products range from Craft Stash. And just to give you an idea for the sizes, the larger one across measures about 3 3/8 of an inch, while the smaller one 3 1/8. So I'm taking the larger one first over the pattern paper, and I'm centering it between the two sides, but I want more be left on the bottom than on the top. Once I double check that it is the larger die that I'm using on the pattern paper, I'm going to send this through my die cutting machine, and it cuts it out perfectly. Now I'm going to layer this on top of my mirror cardstock, and I'm just going to tack them into place just temporarily with my low tack tape, just to make sure it doesn't move, because I'm going to be layering my smaller die in the middle of there. I want that frame that it will create to be even. So I'm going to tag this in with my low tack tape as well. And now I'm going to run through the gold one, my die cutting machine. Now, with this method, I'm creating naturally a little frame around on the inside. Can you see that? You don't have to do this. You can layer these two pieces of cardstocks on top of each other, run through the die cutting machine, and then cut a thin frame and glue it around it. That's another way that I almost always create my frames. This is just another way that I wanted to try, and I really like that look. It gives you a different option. I covered this one on double-sided tape. Now I'm going to add some liquid glue as well, and this will give me a little time to wriggle it about before I stick it down on my mirror cardstock, which I actually do off camera because all you could see was the top of my head in here anyway. So this will fit on my card perfectly, but first we have other things that we need to create to go behind this. So I have strips of cardstocks in here. These are 3/8 of an inch of gold cardstock and 1/4 of an inch of those pattern paper. I use the same one as on the front of the card and this pink one that I just showed you. So I'm going to show you how I layer these up. This is the 1/4 of an inch, which already has some double-sided tape behind it. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to stick it on the 3/8 of an inch wide gold mirror cardstock, which will leave me with a thin border on either side. Now I have them quite long here. You'll not need them this long. I'll show you at the minute. It will all make sense. But I just like to work with longer than what I need. I can always cut the excess away. So I'm layering, for my size of card, I'm layering 6 on top of each other in here by leaving a little gap between. And I'm kind of making sure that the gaps are even-ish, as even as I can get them. But I'm going to use my low tack tape just to keep them still. They don't stay that still, but it helps create this lovely pattern which we are going to work on with. So I am alternating the designs, a pink one and a cream one, pink one and a cream one, and so on. And once I have them horizontally laid, I'm going to bring them, the rest of them, in vertically. And you can see how I go over and under, and wherever I can, I'm adding a little dot of glue, just using my fine tip glue bottle, which comes in very, very handy for this. Now, when I'm going to go with the pink one, I'm going to alternate. So the one that went under the cream one on the top goes over the pink one in here. Can you see? This will create a lovely pattern. So now I have to lift all the pink ones up, to lift them above that vertical line. And the vertical ones, I am actually adding it a bit of an angle. But you really don't have to do that. You'll see in a minute that we will be twisting it behind our aperture anyway. It will all make sense in a moment. Now, when I was making this, I did play about with the sizes a lot. I did try 1/2 inch strips, I did try 1/4 inch strips, and it was the 3/8 of ones that I liked the most. But you can create this from any width of strips as you wish. Now, I did create weaving patterns before. I made an Easter basket, I made Easter cards using this pattern, but I never layered pattern paper on top of mirror cardstock like I'm doing in here for those strips. I think I only used really brown or craft cardstock before to create my little basket or the basket shape on cards. And I really love the look that layering it up mirror cardstock gave me in here. I definitely will be coming back to use this kind of pattern for different projects. I really love it. So I need that pattern to be big enough to fit behind my oval. And this is what I was saying, that you can twist that oval so the lines on the pattern go in a direction that you like. And I kind of like them a bit like this rather than going straight down and straight to the side, if you know what I mean. And I'm just taking a slightly bigger oval die in here just for guides on how much I need to cut away, because it was too much overhanging to work with in there. But I will have to cut some more away, obviously, once this is all stuck down. Now, these are my lovely florals that I colored in at the start of this video. And I'm just kind of arranging them to see which way I want them to go in there. And I really love how they look. They are just so gorgeous. I cannot wait to share the original piece with you guys. That one was really, really nice as well. I'm just laying a little bit of double-sided tape at the back in here. It will just help me make it easier to stick those flowers down, stop them from moving too much. Now, but you can see what I meant by that weaving pattern, that this would make such a lovely design for Mother's Day or for Easter. I really, really wanted to share it with you now, so you can create something like this if you like the look. So I'm just arranging those flowers back again by sticking them at the back in there, and then they are coming from the back of the oval, but they poke throughout the front. I think those flowers are called lilacs and should be lilac-y colors, but I just wanted to go with the all different colors in here. Yellow, orange, pink. There's no such a thing as rules for flower coloring for me in card making anyway. But I am using these stamps for a different card very soon, and I use different colors for the flowers in there. So please be sure to check back for that video if you've got this magazine. Or you could of course use different stamps as well. This would look lovely with Easter baskets, Easter eggs on the front there, or some other floral stamps. But I think this magazine and the stamp set that came with it is so gorgeous, perfect for spring or summer. I think it's still available on Craftstash. I will check, and if it is, I will link it in the description box below so you can check that out too. Once I'm happy with how my floral arrangement looks, it is time to stick down my woven pattern behind it. And I love the oval window in there. I really do. I'm kind of obsessed a bit lately with ovals. I don't know why. I go through phases. Not long ago it was hexagons. Now I really love ovals. I just ordered a different die set, oval nesting die set, and I can't wait for it to arrive. So I've cut down the little overhanging bits to size, and I'm going to glue some of these flowers back onto that woven pattern. I don't want them to be flapping about in there. And now I'm going to use some baker twine. On the original piece I used a yellow one, but I did not have any of that left in my stash, so I checked which one I liked most against this card, and it was this lovely pink pattern one. I added a bit of a double-sided tape at the back of the card just to keep it in place. And I will be putting my sentiment on top of that. This is why I wanted to leave a little more room underneath the oval than above it. Now I'm going to cover the whole back of this on double-sided foam tape. Now my foam tape is like an inch wide. All I do is stick a piece of it on some baking sheet or parchment paper, and it is very easy that way to cut it down to thinner strips. I can't remember where I've heard this first before, but I've been doing this for years and it really, really works a trick. It saves you destroying your scissors all the time because mine were constantly covered in stickiness from the double-sided tape, but the parchment paper really helps. When I first made this card, it took me forever to decide what kind of paper to put behind that woven pattern. First, I was just going to leave it white, as you can see in here. I did not like that. I tried all different pattern papers. I did not like them. And I just happened to try just off chance gold mirror cardstock, which I didn't think will work, but it did. It really looked so beautiful. It made me so happy. You know, once when you just find something in card making that really works, it just makes your heart dance. It was one of those moments for me. So I'm just going to add another piece of cardstock just on the bottom in there, just to have it all nice at level height. And now I'm going to use my cola glue all over this back piece to attach this to my card piece. Cola glue once dries, again, I keep saying this, it will leave it nice and sturdy and it will be a real lovely quality feel card. So now I'm just making another strip of those, which I use for the woven pattern. 1/4 of an inch of a pattern paper, and this is the pink one, the same pink I used on the woven pattern, and a 3/8 of an inch wide of gold cardstock, and I'm going to glue this onto that spine. And then I cut this down to size, running right from the top right to the bottom. There's no gaps left on the top or bottom at all. And now it is time to add my sentiment. I'm going to layer it up behind that same pink cardstock. I'm cutting just a very thin border all around it, and then I'm going to add some very thin foam tape just alongside the bottom and the top. I don't want it to add all over because it would interfere with that baker's twine, and the baker's twine already has that dimension to it. So all I need to add this on the top and the bottom. Reinforce it with a bit of a liquid glue and glue it on. Now it's coming together very nicely, as you can see. So I have some dragonflies and butterflies in there. I'm just playing about which ones I want to use. I know I want to use one of each, and the dragonfly will be going down on the left hand corner in there. Corner, oh, well, it doesn't really have a corner, but you know what I mean. And then I was playing about with this butterfly so much. I just didn't know where I liked it. So I decided to add my rhinestones first, which I'm going to use the pale pink ones from Chloe's Creative Cards. These are just flat back pearls or rhinestones, even shiny rhinestones. And I'm going to use 5 on that top left corner. So a large one, 2 medium and 2 small ones, and then a medium and 2 small ones on the bottom right corner of the card. And now I can play about with my butterfly more. I'll be able to place it somewhere I like it on the top in there. And this is it. The card came together so lovely. I really love it. Stay tuned for the close-ups that I will be adding at the end of this video. I'm just tidying up some of the overflown watercolors in there. But this is it. It came together so pretty. By just changing the sentiment, you could easily make this for a Mother's Day card, and I think it would be gorgeous with your mother's favorite colors for the flowers. How beautiful would that be? I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you did, please do not forget to give me the thumbs up and hit the notification bell to make sure you get notified anytime I upload new videos. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so. I really appreciate your support. Reading your comments is just amazing. A big thank you to all of you who takes the time to watch my videos and react to them in any way. I really hope I inspired you today, and if I did, do not forget to check back for another lovely tutorial very soon. I'll see you then. Bye!